Hello, wonderful people. I bring you greetings. My name remains Joe Vika, and I'm broadcasting from Joe Vika TV. Today is a very special day the Lord has made, and we must have to be rejoiced and be glad in it. I am having an interview that is not going to take more than at most 30 minutes. And within these 30 minutes, we are going to be receiving some mind blowing, explosive information and declaration that will be coming from my guest tonight or this morning, depends on where you are watching from. Um, as you can see, if you are very conversant with me, I come up with topics each time I want to have an interview. If you see the interview there, you're going to be seeing Anglican bishop retiring into legal practices. It might sound awkward, it might sound strange, it might sound abnormal, but with the by the time we go into the nitty-gritties of this particular topic, you'll be able to understand why it is so. I wouldn't want to take much of your time talking. Just permit me, give me a second to take a breather. And when I come back, I'll be shooting the uh, target without any delay. Let's take a breather immediately. If you don't have information, you are already deformed. Please, if you have been watching me, seeing my video, you've not started following, I don't know what you're waiting for.
If you no get information, you are already deformed. Why not go to your YouTube? Jovika TV. You want time for Facebook? Jovika TV. Instagram and Twitter. Jovika TV. Abi you want time for TikTok? Jovika TV. Abi na WhatsApp you want time? Jovika TV. Jovika TV, poised to reach you with the truth.
We are always poised to reach you with the truth. Guys who are joining me from TikTok, we're discussing with the Bishop Sam Eze, who is retiring. It will shock you when the time you want to listen to this particular conversation. Without waiting for time, Yellow Bishop, Mano Bishop, you're welcome to the Jovika TV. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Jovita. Good to be with you today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're not doing bad.
May we meet you, sir? Just introduce yourself. Let my guests be able to understand who you are.
Sam Eze. I am the Bishop of Missionary Diocese of West Coast with headquarters in Cotonou, Benin Republic, of the Gospel Anglican Church worldwide. I am resident in Benin Republic here.
Okay. We had a hint of your retirement. Some quarters say it's not retirement, some quarters say it's withdrawal, some quarters, a lot of news or information in regard to your retiring or not retiring. Please, I want you to throw more light on so that our viewers will not be confused like some people. Go ahead, sir.
It's a kind of partial retirement. You know, in ministry, there is no retirement. As the Bishop of West Coast in Gospel Anglican Church, I am formally retiring, abdicating that office for someone else to occupy. So in that sense, you can call it retirement. It's a kind of a paradigm shift in my career and calling. as a person with a double barrel profession, so to say. So I am about bringing the other part of me to the front burner. Why the part of me that is in ministry will equally operate from a private arrangement, so to say. That is just the implication of all that.
I am bringing the other part of me to the front burner. May we know the other part of you, sir? What is this other part of you? Can you explain to us?
Thank you very much. I am, by God's grace, also, beside being a clergy, now in the rank of a bishop in Gospel Anglican Church. I am also a lawyer of 17 years post-call experience. I had to allow that aspect of me to be partially in the cooler because ever since I was called to bar, I have barely practiced to the point of advocacy. I've only done soliciting, that is drafting. I have not so much showed up in court, which is my duty as a lawyer in that profession. The next thing I have done about my law or legal part of me is that I have been in the classroom lecturing in law for about 5 years now. So, but having a full-blown legal practice where, like we do in our own legal system in Nigeria, a lawyer is both the advocate and both an advocate and solicitor of the Supreme Court. So I want to bring all the potential in me as a legal practitioner to bear. That is exactly what I'm about doing.
Wow, 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 wow. Really double barrel indeed. Okay, do we say that maybe you are venturing into legal practices because of you couldn't find your feet in bishopric position? That is the speculation. Are they those who said it? Are they correct?
Perhaps I'll give a little background of what brought about this.
Okay.
I I was when I wanted to study law, I my bishop then gave me a green light. He simply said, pray over it. If the Spirit leads you, so be it. Eventually, when I did and came up with, I am convinced to study law, he gave me the other side of him and never showed me his face anymore. So eventually, that was in Niger Delta North Diocese in Nigeria. Eventually, when Ikwere came out of Niger Delta North, I was instituted or inaugurated. I found myself in the Ikwere Diocese. The bishop then favored my going ahead. At that point, I was to go to law school. He favored it. But on my return from law school, I enlisted with a chamber for my legal practice. But I showed up in court a couple of times, and the bishop heard it and addressed me that I am not going to practice law as much as going to the court. That he didn't allow me for all that so that I could practice law. Rather, he knew me or wished me to be a full-time clergyman in his diocese. As a result, I withdrew from advocacy and remained a full-time priest under him. One reasons why I wanted to practice, I studied law, apart from the fact I grew up to know I would, was so that when I retire from the priesthood, I will continue with legal practice. But since I was not allowed to carry both of them side by side, if I were to retire by age of 65 or 70 and then I start practicing, I would have wasted the real vigor I would have had to practice, go into practice. So I told myself, at the point I attend 35 years in ministry, I will shift to legal practice and do ministry privately on part-time basis. And the time has just come. I found myself in 2 years in the episcopate, and I don't want to renege on that. I simply want to keep to that by taking retirement so that I can front my legal practice.
Okay. Okay, that deserves a round of applause for being sticking to what you've decided, not being pushed away by any position of whatsoever. Okay. Normally, though you have partially explained why you are retiring at this age, because I know the full time of retirement it should be 70 years in Anglican Church. Do you have any more light to throw why it is at this age, and how old are you within this? How old are you, if you may wish to tell us?
Like I have put in, this is my 34th year in ministry and my
Okay.
54th year as a person. So I still have a
Oh,
whole lot of years lying ahead of me. But then ministry, as a minister, you don't retire actually. So I'm only trying to organize my life so that I can give attention to legal practice while I do ministry privately and not officially anymore as I've always done.
okay, 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 okay. Then, I know you used to be with Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion. What made you to leave Church of Nigeria? Can you tell us? Could it be that you left Church of Nigeria because they didn't allow you to become a bishop there? So you left them to pursue your ambition of becoming a bishop. Is that what happened?
Let me start by saying that if I ever lost an ambition to be a bishop, it's never a bad one.
Okay.
If it has come to me anywhere, anytime, and God wishes it to be so, I will accept it with my two hands. While in Church of Nigeria, I know I have been mentioned for the office of a bishop somehow, sometime, but that's not the issue. I would have loved to be in Church of Nigeria as a priest. I am a member of Church of Nigeria now as a lay person or a retired priest. But I left because of certain pressure and suppression or oppression I experienced from the episcopate of the church. Some of the bishops I had encounter with, I worked under, the kind of pressure mounted on me, the kind of treatment meted on me, culminated in my pulling the towel. Before this time I'm doing it, that this is the time I would have done it. Eventually, I was not allowed to stay till this time. The pressure was so much, I had to throw in the towel and then vacated that part of the Anglican Communion and then sought to finish up in Gospel Anglican Church, which is another Anglican church, but outside of the Communion or outside of Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion. So I didn't leave because I was not given chance to be a bishop. Such chances are not given just like that. If God so wishes, it happens. Even though I know there are politics about it, but I've not come to that point where I became desperate or people are saying, you've overgrown. Even as at now, I can still be a bishop. Even in the next 5, 10 years, I can still be a bishop. So I didn't leave because of ambition to be a bishop. Not at all. Not at all.
So we are going to be saying that you didn't have a very smooth ministry under Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion. If anyone who said that is very correct.
The word smooth is less ambiguous. I had a very smooth selling ministry in the Anglican Church, Church of Nigeria.
Okay.
Any bishop I served can bear witness of how God helped me to run my ministry under them. There's no church, there's no parish I am sent to. One thing about me is that I don't care about self when it comes to ministry. I front my God and I front the church. I front the souls God bless or would always place in my care. And I do everything so that I can also keep my hands clean and be answerable to God in my stewardship unto Him as a priest. I've done that. I was in Niger Delta Diocese. I was then there. First of all, in Okigwe, all diocese, I just started a few months. I got admission in University of Port and that took me to Port under Niger Delta. Bishop Elongo saw me, fancied me. He ordained me a priest. When he retired, Bishop Kade took over. So ask any of them. From there, I went to Kwere under Bishop Enyinda, now Archbishop Enyinda. Eventually, I left there and ended up with Archbishop Onwa Hadoko. So ask any of them, they will tell you, I do my ministry with utmost sincerity, as unto my God and not unto man. But then the bishops are bishops. In fact, the Church of Nigeria is about the bishops. And sometimes they seem to be almighty and have one's destiny in his hand. So sometimes when they begin to toss destinies around, especially my own, I don't feel comfortable. So at the peak of it, I felt like I should just leave the scene, and I did.
Okay, okay. So what's the relationship between you and Church of Nigeria? Though you have partially mentioned it, do you have more light to throw in your relationship between Church of Nigeria before we take a break? You're going to answer this question. Let me take a break. This is 15 minutes gone past the starting time. I want to encourage my wonderful viewers, if you have not started, if you don't know what is happening, we have an Anglican bishop retiring or per se at age of 50 instead of 70th year of their year of retirement. So he is trying to explain what informed him. Not just he's retiring or he is withdrawing, as whatever the terms you want to use for it. He's going into full-time legal practice. So as someone who is hunting around for information and news, when I have a hint of that, I started looking for him. And thank goodness I got him, and he wanted to explain himself. I've been having this kind of interview with so many of them. There's another bishop that will be joining me anytime we settle the time. I'll also be hosting Paul Wokocha. Also, there are a lot of them. I major in having interview with people. But let's take a break. I plead with you, if you have never subscribed to this channel, I don't know if we are so enemy, our enmity has it grown to that level. Just do me.
Moral Interactive, Jovika TV, poised to reach you with the truth.
Hello, you're welcome back. I remain Jovika. We are poised to reach you with the truth. We're having the last part of this particular interview. Sir, you heard what I asked you. Go ahead. Or should I recap my question?
Like I said, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion is my church.
Okay.
St. Andrew Church initially in the Kedu Diocese is my home church.
Okay.
But I have retired as a priest of the church voluntarily.
Okay.
So if I have anything to do with Church of Nigeria, is as a priest, I mean as a retired priest. I'm not, the bishop I became is not connected to Church of Nigeria. So I ended with them as a priest in the rank of an archdeacon. And that is my relationship with Church of Nigeria.
Okay. You talked about the continuous almightiness of Anglican bishop in Church of Nigeria, taking the position of God in people's life. I even heard one said to someone, "Your destiny is in my hand." What is the offense of the priest? That he wants to go and study PhD. He now said to the guy, "You are going to study PhD. I hope you don't want to go into full-time teaching work. Remember, your destiny is in my hand." I wish a bishop would tell me that kind of thing. I would tell him to his face, "Sir, you are too small to hold my destiny. My destiny is in God's hand." I will tell the person, I don't care. But the guy quietly kept quiet, and the man is frustrating him. What can you tell us about the power intoxication we have been experiencing and hearing among the bishops? Not just Church of Nigeria, even Roman Catholic Church. I had a Reverend Father who retired. I'm also looking for that Reverend Father to have an interview with him. He retired and left. Some say he's into traditional religion. He's a native doctor. He got married, yes. But I'm going to be having him to hear from him directly. What can you tell us about the power being exhibited by bishops? Thank you.
All right. You know that the priesthood generally is portrayed as a representation of the master of the church. So the congregation holds any priest in that regard. So when you come to a priest ascending to the rank of a bishop, it's like he is God himself. The way the Pope is said to be infallible is partially attributed to the bishops, especially when they are referred as right reverends. So that is perceived or understood or interpreted to mean that they are never wrong for any reason. And the bishops themselves sometimes imbibe that feeling or sense that they are never wrong, they are right. And having that feeling as God's representative, the much God owns us, they feel they also own everyone, especially the priests under them. They feel their destinies are in their hands. They determine what becomes of any priest. And they will tell you to your face because they can transfer you at any time they just want, without minding how it feels with you, without minding the effect of such a transfer on the church where you're going to or yourself. They have such a power that in the Anglican setup, we have three houses: the house of the laity, where the numerical strength of the church lies majorly. Then you have the other house of the clergy, that is the intermediate house, where the priests are accommodated. And you have the house of the bishop, where you have the sole majority, one man, but is the majority. Just like they say, one with God is the majority. The bishop, as a solitary person in the house of bishop in the diocese, sees himself or is deemed to be in the majority. He has fiat to make decisions, take certain decisions. You see, in the Anglican Church, democracy is not so much the game. Is in the name of theocracy, autocracy steps in. You see that when bishop is elected and consecrated and enthroned, apart from the office of the clerical secretary that might be voted into, the rest of the offices, the chancellor, the registrar, he appoints them at his whims and caprices. So they are answerable to him. As a result, he can fire, hire, and fire any of them. So he becomes so almighty. For anyone to keep an office he lost in the church, he must have to align with the bishop, whether he's right or he's wrong. So most times they use that opportunity that they are answerable to nobody, do anything they like, even engage in immorality, and nobody, they are answerable to no one, of course. So such is the power of the bishop. Is not checkmated. Yes, they might in the house of bishop as a church, as a communion, might have one or two things to do. Every bishop is autonomous. So they do and undo, so to say. So such power given to them is excessive. And we know that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. If it dies, he said so. And it applies in every realm, including the ecclesiastical realm, where the bishops are found. Let me make it brief this way.
Wow, wow. It's like this is if it is somebody, so this is my where I studied. This is your major because you extensively elaborated the particular topic. What because let's not make this program as we're trying to get a kind of vindictive on any office. I'm gonna allow you to step through that, but I'm gonna be taking it personally because I've received a lot of reports from priests how they're being maltreated. We are going to be a voice for some of them because you cannot talk to them. Some of them don't feel comfortable. They are not very comfortable to speak out. I think I want to dedicate my channel to be an avenue for people to express themselves. Many are dying in depression because they can't just, they are bottling what they have been, their what negativity, all the things that are being meted against. But someday freedom will come. Okay, taking the last lap of this particular interview, can you tell yourself, one thing I discover people don't know, You came from a priestly family, as we heard. Some corners say that you guys are arrogant and heady. You and your brothers. I know you guys have about 4 priests in your mother's womb. You have a bishop, you have an Anglican archdeacon, you have a canon, you have a priest. Then 2 other ones are also there in the ministry, in their own level. What can you tell us about that? You and your family are heady, are stubborn. You guys are gifted, but you cannot stay under authority. This has been speculation peddled around by some individual. How true is this statement? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I hear people, in fact, people in purple say that a lot, especially where we are coming from. But that is not the true position of things. My father was a priest that retired at the rank of an archdeacon. In fact, he was one time a vicar general of a diocese. So, in the absence of bishop, he was the one managing the diocese until a bishop was put in position.
Yeah.
He had his rough times, rough ages, and under some bishops as well. And as one that grew up in the parsonage, I saw it all. The call or the calling was obvious in my life and in the life of others. And while it was manifesting, I called my brothers and told them, see what our father passed through. See what he saw in the ministry, in the Anglican ministry. You know, I love the Anglican church. That was why, even when I couldn't cope with pressure in church of Nigeria, I didn't run to Pentecostal church. I didn't start my own church. I looked for an alternative Anglican to just finish up to this very point. I saw what my father went through, and I told them, look, one of the problems my father had was he had all his eggs in one basket of the church. So when the bishop says this will happen to you, because of fear of how do I train my children if I am suspended? How do I train my children if I am shown the way out of the ministry? He couldn't help, bowing to pressure most times. I told my brothers, as you are heeding the call, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try to study, diversify, so that we don't see what our father saw. So when I had that mindset and came into the ministry, I am a very humble person. I'm a very sincere person. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but I'm trying to tell you how I try to package my life. And those who know me will understand. Naturally, I'm on the quiet side. I respect my bishop. I give attention to my duties. But whenever the pressure begins to mount, the bishop begins to come after me and against my truth, I know myself that I would simply love to enter into the outer darkness than to be in that church and be frustrated or be destroyed. So when they came up at that with that measure, and I said, no, no, my Lord, release me. They look at it that I'm stubborn. Why I left Ikwere, the bishop who was in love with me, in fact, my family became part of his family, but at a point, because of one thing or the other, he started witch hunting me, so to say. When I saw it was coming to a point where Satan can sit in, I said, my Lord, please advise me what you want to do. He said, I can decide. I said, release me. When I was under Okiwosa diocese, I took leave to go and study. When I was called back, then the issue that I was found in a church that's not in communion with the Church of Nigeria became what I was worried about. And I said, my Lord, we have more issues that are pressing on us, which you bother about much in our church system than that someone went to minister in a church that is not under the same communion with the Church of Nigeria. Because I spoke out, then I had to face the music. The bishop now decided to met a certain measure of punishment against my person. And I said, instead of this, I retired voluntarily. So when you take such these steps, when you don't submit yourself for them to hammer you, kill you, they say you're stubborn. That is just it. I am not stubborn. My brothers are not.
Okay.
But we like to maintain our right. I'm a lawyer. I know my right. Sometimes I keep quiet. Somebody will trample done it. When you do it and do it and do it, I will tell you I have my right and I know my right. And when I do it, they tell me that he is stubborn. That's just it.
When I take my ride, they say I am stubborn. Thank you for elaborately explaining to us on that particular unfounded theory being held by some individuals. In conclusion, what is your advice to so many priests that are being persecuted by their bishops? What is your advice? What can you tell them? Because there are many people who are, sure, some of them are just heading to the grave, and nobody, they wouldn't tell anybody. Do you have any advice for them?
Well, I always give kudos to Nigerians generally, and I extend the same to priests in Nigeria, Nigerian priests. We have such a long suffering, long endurance, our elastic limit in endurance. I don't think we have a limit. Many people are suffering in the Anglican church as priests. In fact, like you said, even in Catholic church, in many churches. But what do they do? I mentioned my father. He will tell you if I leave, if they suspend me or push me out, how do I train my children? Such a constraint is making a lot of them to swallow so many bitter pills, and they cannot help it. They are not like me. I can decide to go out there, face my life, than swallow such things. But many cannot afford it. So I will encourage them, keep swallowing. One day you will retire and it will be over. But if you think that this is making you to engage in certain life behavior that is unbecoming of your person as a Christian who is in pilgrimage to hit heaven, you can quit. You can then diversify. As a priest, you can do agriculture, you can go into business, you can do other studies, so that when one road closes, another can open for you. So that's the simple advice I will give. If not, you will stay and face it to the very end when you will retire. Or God calls you earlier before your retirement, you go with it. So your destiny fetched for you. There's nothing you can do.
Okay, that's a very good one, and that is for them. Me, I myself, no. I will take it to a great extent when it gets to a point. I won't wait until I retire with it. I will. Some of us, somebody will retire. We can. So, no. That's okay. Thank you, sir. Finally. Do you think you can have an opportunity maybe to serve again as full time as a bishop or as a priest, maybe Church of Nigeria or any other Anglican anywhere in the world? Do you think if such opportunity come calling, you're gonna use to it?
I said I am now retiring into private ministry.
Okay.
Footballers sometimes retire, and when need becomes obvious, they can come out of retirement, play again, and also retire ultimately. I am retiring to legal practice now.
Okay.
For instance, if I have any opportunity and I am beckoned to please come and help us, SOS, save our soul, call, comes from any of the Anglican jurisdictions, and I pray about it and I am led to lend my help again. Why not? I will, but I will be sure of what the terms are. I will be sure I will respect you fully, and you will also respect my person, so that I don't go and have a repeat of my past experience that will turn things worse than they were. So if opportunity comes and God leads me to do so, I may consider such opportunity, especially when God leads me anyway.
Thank you so much, my loving chef, for giving us that very cogent response to the question. Wonderful viewers at this juncture, we will definitely call it a day. Sincerely speaking, whenever I'm on interview with men of intellectual, I mean, men of who are gifted in their different fields of endeavor, I hate to go, but I have to go. What is your parting word, sir, in this interview, sir?
Discover what makes you happy as you run this race, as you pursue your endeavors, especially when they are not offensive to your God and to morality generally, and tilt towards it. I know the kind of joy I will face being a priest or a bishop and fulfilling that desire of practicing law. And that is why I'm taking a time out to go into it. Whatever gives you joy as you serve God, please give it an opportunity.
Thank you very much. Do you have any advice to those who will be watching this video thereafter? What would you tell them to do in Jovika TV?
Please do everything to support Jovica TV. He is doing so well. He's really educating people. He's really also telling them to their faces, especially in politics, even in religious circle, and everywhere. So he's a voice to the people. Every support, sharing his video and all that. Please, that's the little. If that's the little we can do for him, let's go ahead and do it for him.
Thank you,
Thank you very
sir,
much.
for using your voice to propagate and promote and push our brand. God bless you, sir. We will definitely going to have you again, and thank you for coming to our show. We can always have you whenever we need you. And I want to believe you're going to oblige us. Remain blessed. May the Lord continue to see you through in your new endeavor. Thank you, guys.
Thank
My
you.
wonderful followers and viewers. At this juncture, we will draw the curtain here. I want to believe to those of you who participated from beginning to the end, you are blessed. You are been educated. For me, I'm educated. I've learned something. Patience is the key. Perseverance is the way forward. But when it comes to a point that you cannot manage it, respect your authorities. Let the authorities also respect you. You know your right. All these and more were mentioned. If you didn't learn it, I'm kind of recapping so that you can grab something home. Thank you once again for watching the video. God bless you. Remember, as I will always say, if you don't get information, you are already, what is wrong with my, we are already deformed. Until when you get to Jovika TV, you will know that you need information.
If you no get information, you are already deformed. Why not go to your YouTube? Jovika TV. You want come for Facebook? Jovika TV. Instagram and Twitter. Jovika TV. Abi you want come for TikTok? Jovika TV. Abi na WhatsApp you want come? Jovika TV. Bye.